There we go. Now everything's back to normal as can be this morning. Hello, everyone. A lot of folks here. Thank you all for joining me. This is a coming out stream, which I didn't know I would be doing again at 28 years old, but it's been a long time coming and just took a long time for me to recognize and come to terms with. It's been a rough couple weeks after it kind of first came to me that this is how I felt, who I was, and last night was kind of a revelation because my mom figured it out. And very, very sweet, very accepting, very loving. Not that I ever doubted her, but there's always that fear, that it's going to be more difficult than you want it to be. And it's difficult changing your relationship with family members, especially your mother. But, I mean, she was so sweet. Just, it's hard to talk about. Talking about my dad and how she thought my dad would have taken it and how he would have, it was so loving and accepting coming from the South and meeting her family, which has multiple gay people in it, and adapting and coming to recognize them, and even her previous it's just a lot of personal conversation that really helped me a lot, because I was really choking under it. I was, and I don't keep secrets from my mom, and as much as I was trying to keep it to myself just because I figured that's more stress, I don't know, I couldn't bring myself to do it, and she just found out. Just how are you feeling? Are you afraid I'm not going to love you anymore? And I was like, well, there's always that anxiety. And she goes, what? Are you going to, is it because you're gay? Are you somehow going to be gayer than gay? Just, the things that come out of her mouth are so funny. And it came out. I had been waiting until the house settled down and things got to normal and thought about it. And I just didn't. Okay, so I'll explain this, because I also, at first, when I first was learning about this stuff, terminology, yes, can be confusing, because does trans man mean you were a man and you're not? And yeah, trans man means, I identify as a man. Legally, I am seen as female. As for my plans in the future, really, I don't know very much what I would like to do, other than being able to present and kind of change language has been a lot. The people in my family that matter the most know. It will be kind of difficult because there are family members that don't believe in this, to put it lightly. But thankfully, the people that are closest to me are very understanding and very kind. And I have friends that are also trans that I had been non-binary for a long time, and I think it was because part of me recognized that I was not a woman, but I didn't make that extra step forward that I was a man. And I think there was a very, very deep down part of me that was terrified of it, because it's a big thing. I don't know, it's a lot to face, a lot to recognize that you are something else. Have I decided on a name? AJ and Muse is probably what I'll stick with. My birth name is Amanda Joanne. Amanda. Just, that was the tease my whole childhood, because I was a tomboy. I wore boys' clothes, I hung out with boys, I wanted to be on the boys' baseball team instead of softball, I didn't want to be in Girl Scouts, I hid jeans under my skirts all the time. It's very obvious in retrospect. I just didn't have the language for it. And my parents didn't understand. They always let me do basically what I wanted. If I wanted to quit the sport, I quit the sport. If I wanted to dress a certain way, I was allowed. They were not very restrictive on who I could be. And my father, for all that he was a Southern gentleman, he raised his kids the same. All his kids did yard work. All his kids learned how to fix a car. All his kids, it was very, he was very open-minded for being a Southern boy. And there was a time that I think I wasn't sure how he would feel But talking to my mom, I think she's right. He's far more... She knew him so well. And she talked about... She joking about how she married 4 times because 3 of them couldn't keep up with her. And my dad was the last that she was with for 30 years. And talked about how one of her previous relationships possibly didn't work out because her brother was gay and came out in the 70s. And shortly after, her husband left her. There were other issues, but she was kind of talking about how she kind of felt like he couldn't adjust. Couldn't adjust to it. And my dad did. My dad did. And I think if he was here and he had the time and the chance to adapt, I think he would have. It is definitely rougher being in the South and being, but I live in a very populated, very modern area. A lot of colleges, lots of queer folk. There's a gay bar downtown. And I've been thinking a lot about how I really want to be involved in that scene. It was very difficult to figure out for me because I was attracted to men. But the way that I was attracted to them wasn't the normal way that a woman was. And so it was very confusing from high school on when I first met kids my age that identified as gay or trans. Like, I went through a dozen labels: non-binary, asexual, lesbian, bisexual. I tried all sorts of things, and none of it really worked. And I think it is because the starting point was wrong. How can I be attracted to anyone when I'm not certain of what I want to be seen as? And I think it sabotaged a lot of my romantic relationships where people I was genuinely attracted to, I couldn't open up to them because I hadn't recognized something in myself. And so that's been a big change, that I think that I know now what I was missing. But yeah, it's been a lot. I've not been streaming regularly. I've been not doing the videos. It's just been a lot of processing, a lot of old memories popping up and being like, oh, that's why that happened. That's why this went that way. It's been a big thing. It's huge. It's been huge. And a difficult time to go through it too, just because, all of us are going through the ringer right now. And, it's just been a lot, and, I don't know, it's been a lot off my shoulder recognizing this and figuring it out. And gender is entirely made up anyway. Somebody made the comment, transgender is older than God, because the oldest, identities we have that are not male or female, but are something like both, are older, like the Babylonian ages. We've always had this. It's one of the reasons I love learning about history, because you can find so much evidence that we've always been around and been different somehow, and been unique. And various cultures have tried to put things in boxes, but it's never really worked, I know we do have one asshole in the chat, but I really don't care. I will block them as soon as this stream's over, because I feel so good for the first time in a long time. It was, yeah. As Master Marcus says, even before I was out, I always identified more with how gay men's attraction was expressed. Exactly. And that was the confusion. That was what, and they make a lot of these comments like, oh, well, women are fetishizing the gays and whatever, and why are you into boy love and stuff. And it's like, I always had that feeling of like, oh, is that what I'm doing? No, I was so heavily identifying with these men. I could not put myself into the steps of women. And I was like, am I anti-women? But no, it was just, there was a part of me dying to get out that could, when I finally was identifying with men, when I was reading that kind of fiction, playing those kind of stories. Dragon Age Origins. I love Dragon Age Origins. It was the first time I could have a queer relationship. And I never romanced Liliana. I never played as a woman. I was always a man, and I always romanced Severin. Like, how did I not see? How did that not make sense? And then when we streamed Fata Morgana, and Michelle hit me so hard. The story of Michelle, the intersex person who identified as a man and had all those issues. It was just, that game really, I think, opened the door it really opened the door for me to try and figure some things out. And all these TV shows, the Untamed, Word of Honor, these TV shows that are about boy love, that is adapted into real live actors doing it. I think something about seeing the actors also really opened up my head and said, this is actually what I want. You know, this is who I am. These two men that love each other. Yeah, I think I am a gay man. I don't know. My attraction to women is far more complex. I feel like I do sometimes, I'm very attached to certain women, but I don't know that it's sexual at all. Romantic, possibly? I don't know. It's like, if I was ever in a fandom or interested in a game or a story, inevitably I would probably be drawn to a man and probably a pairing of two men. But if there was a specific woman, I would be obsessed. Yuna from Final Fantasy X, Edelgard from Fire Emblem, Aqua from Kingdom Hearts. Like, there were certain ones that just really clicked with me somehow, that I was very attached to them. But yeah, it almost felt like it was far more like a romanticizing, like idolizing, rather than something, oh goodness, thank you. I don't know that it was something, that is probably coming through the microphone, because I should turn off my music. Yeah, I don't know that it was the same. So I can't say that I'm not attracted to women, but I don't know if it's the same as men. I think I'm more attracted to men. But we'll see. I've not really had a real romantic relationship. It's kind of complicated. No, Philippe, I don't think I'm a gay man because I watch BL, no. It was because from the time I was 10 years old, those were the only stories that made me feel human. I've been, sneaking out yaoi from the library since I was 10, and my mom, thank God, did not know. We talked about that last night. She was like, you are so lucky I don't read things. Like, it's 1,000 things put together. It's 1,000 pieces coming together. And it just finally clicked, you know? It just worked. But yeah, the only romantic relationship I ever had never really worked out, because I think I could feel he was attracted to me as a woman. I wanted him as a man. And we tried a lot of things. It just never really worked. And it was twice in 8 years that, I came back to this guy, because I really did like him. But I didn't know myself yet, and I don't know that he would have liked, he likes women, as far as I know. We haven't spoken in a little while, but, it was complicated. And then I did have a date with a guy where I presented as masculine, and that felt great. We had a great time. He also was probably straight, so I don't know that would have worked, but the date itself was a great time. It was really great. I've had a great time. Why did I consider asexuality? Because whenever I was in a romantic relationship, it could never work out sexually. And I think it was because of the gender portion of that. Like, I was attracted to the person, and then when it was time to boogie down, it never worked. So I was like, oh, well, I must be asexual. No, I don't think so. I think I was just presenting in a way that made it's hard to be attracted when you're not attracted to yourself. It's hard to explain without going way. We could get down and dirty, but I don't know if folks want that. But, it's just something that you have to work through. And it's just been a long time coming, I think. Thank you, Dalton. That's very kind of you. Thank you. It's been miraculous. I feel so much better. Like, the realization at first was really hard, just because I knew I was going to be kind of keeping it to myself, and Mom figuring it out for me and just coming and saying, hey, being so good about it, so cool. We talked for 2 hours, and then last night when I was laying in bed, she called me and she said, I'm sorry I called you baby girl, and, oh, man. What's different between being a trans man and being a non-feminine woman? Y'all want to get down and dirty? I want a penis. Is that enough for you? I want to penetrate a man's ass. Is that good for you? Is that what you want? We can get down and dirty and I can explain it to you, but I could just say, trust me, I know the difference. I am not a woman. I'm trying to be very polite here, but this kind of recognition comes from a very personal, very romantic, sexual place where if you really want the explanation, we could get dirty. But I'm going to try not to. You know? But yeah, that's part of what never worked, you know? That is part of what never worked. Yeah. I'm probably not going to do that, honestly, for now. And this is all stuff that can change in the future. But it is a rough time in my state and with specific members of my family. To be honest, I will likely wait 4 or 5 years before making any big decisions for when certain members of my family are adults and cannot be controlled and kept from seeing me. If I want to put it that way, you know. Will you make Be a Man your personal anthem? You joke, but Mulan was my obsession as a kid. I could watch that movie 1,000 times, and I had no idea why I was so obsessed with Mulan. I loved that movie. Beauty and the Beast was my secondary favorite. Apparently I've always been a queer-ass man that loves big monsters. I don't know, man. Yes, I am into men. I am a man that is into men, to put it that way. What state am I in? Euphoria. No. North Carolina. It's not great. Not great. And honestly, most of my extended family and certain... It's hard to explain. My dad's family is Southern. They're Baptist. Most of them are cool in my generation, and I'm close to, and know some things about me. But, some other ones are not. Definitely not. And I don't want to cause issues. The other side of the family lives in Atlanta, the gay southern capital of the world. There's already 4 members of our family that are out. None of them are trans, but I don't think they would have any issue at all. Really, at this point, it's just a process of I want to get comfortable in my skin and figure out what I want. So I'm not really making any decisions yet. Just want to, feel out what it is now that I recognize what this is, what I'm going to do with it in the future. And dealing with the fact that certain people won't handle it well. Aw, thank you, namesake. You had to make a YouTube account just to show my love. Aw. Thank you, guys. You're all amazing. I love you all. So yeah, at this point, just step 1 is just getting used to being out and presenting this way and dealing with that. Anything else is the future, and I'll, deal with the future eventually. Aw, thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. I feel so much better. And I've been anxious about doing this. I don't know. It just felt like a big step. And I'm so happy that everybody's been so sweet about it. I'm sure this will push some people from the channel, and that is fine. That is what I desire. More weirdos and queers here, just enjoying Silent Hill. And you don't have to be a queer or a weirdo to be here, but you do have to respect me, or you can get out. I am very, very happy and doing much better. Hey, speaking of boys, come here, boy. You say hi. Say hello. 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 I have a doctor's appointment next week. Tell them. Say, I'm probably okay, but they're going to check my skin. They're going to check my skin. And he just has a scratch that doesn't go away, so we're going to have a vet look at him. Very nice lady. So hopefully he'll be okay. He's not acting sick at all, because when cats get sick, they tend to act differently. So I think he's all right. I think he may just have a health issue cats can get where their wounds don't heal very well. They get bumps on the skin. But anyway, just letting y'all know he's getting a vet appointment. Should be fine. But we're just going to be careful and double check. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I guess that's what I had to say. I don't know if I'll be streaming or doing something today. We'll do something, but I don't know what yet. I feel like we should catch up on Word of Honor, because the ending happens this week. And they had this big concert in China with all the actors and stuff on stage playing games and doing stuff I've been watching on Twitter. It's so fun and so funny. And of course, in China, being gay on television is basically banned, but they are skirting the line really hard. It is so funny. I'll have to show y'all some of that next time when in the Discord. I love all of you so much. And thank you so much for the support from here and onward. And I will see y'all again soon. I subscribe for the reading streams. I don't watch the gaming ones. I hope the chat. Aw, thank you. I'm sure we'll be fine. I've dealt with various kinds of weirdos. Now we're just gonna get different weirdos. Instead of getting weirdos that say I have lips that look good for sucking head, we'll get weirdos that ask really personal, weird questions. And you know, that's fine. Let's just boot them out. Thank you guys so much. How many episodes are left? We stopped at like episode 28, I think, and 36 is the last one. So we won't finish it today, but we're getting close. So yeah, follow the reading channel if you like my stuff. That's down below. I'll be doing more personal things and reading streams about other shit. I want to do videos about like historical queer people, because I think it's just so fascinating to see how that stuff's changed over history, and let people know that we've always existed in various forms in all cultures around the world. I just haven't had any like brain energy to work on things. So like I've had all these ideas in my head and just been too tired to do anything with them. So hopefully that changes. So tomorrow will kind of be more of a normal streaming day. Today we'll do something. We'll figure it out. Join the Discord if you want to hang out. We played Dead by Daylight over the weekend. It was really fun. Oh, thank you. Yes, my PT shirt. Yeah, it's really great. You should follow, what is it, Dead by Dracula's does the designs? I don't know. Thank you all so much. You've been so kind and so accepting, and it's been amazing. I will see you next time. Bye.